What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 340. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
We're on the other side of Mount Doom with Adam.
We're jumping on bed.
Yeah. We made it, guys. Collectively,
It
we
was a long
watched
journey.
10, almost 11 hours of movie.
And I probably could have sat through another 10 more.
Yeah. Speaking of that, that's my biggest issue with Return of the King. After revisiting everything, Two Towers still stands as my favorite. Return of the King is much better now that I'm older, pay a little bit more attention to it, but like it feels like because we have, the battle sequence in Return of the King, there's like 2 hours of movie left, And after the battle happens, after they try to siege and all that plays out, it feels kind of rushed from that point forward.
The end.
Yeah, and I understand why, because they're trying to build tension. You got Frodo and Sam on the side of the mountain. You've got Gollum showing up, and they're like, "Look, we got to have the eye look to us, and we got to assault, all this kind of stuff, so that we can pull the attention away to give them a clear path and all this." But like, from the aftermath of the battle up until the end of the movie, or at least until Frodo wakes up on the bed, it felt rushed for me personally. Because I could have continued to watch another 2-3 hours of like, here's the aftermath of the battle. We're going to catch up with everybody for just a second, figure out what's going on. You know what I mean? Like how, and they do that, but they just do it like one shot sequences at a time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's my personal feelings on it. What about you guys?
I never thought I'd die fighting next to an elf. And he
Yeah,
looked at him and he went, "How about a friend?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "I like that. You should make one too,
Yeah.
Personally, I felt engaged enough that although that is true, I didn't necessarily. It wasn't. These movies were, and granted, I'm biased because I feel like we all have a little bias with it because we've seen them before. They're great films. They're deserving of all the awards, etc., whatever. But it didn't, in my viewing, it didn't necessarily stand out to me. This go around, I actually had more. I enjoyed Return of the King a hell of a lot more this go around, and I wasn't sure that I would as much considering what you were saying. Those issues with the pacing and everything at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
I felt like the extended edition allowed it to breathe more, I guess, and it was such an interwoven story with all these different characters that at the end I always was like, man, this movie, it's the movie that doesn't know how to end, because it's like you have the sequence after Mount Doom where everyone reunites for a second, and then, all right, guys, let's see Bilbo off one more fucking time. All right, let's see these guys. It kept cutting to white. But it took all those scenes because each person needed to be seen off properly, and it felt like they did a good job with it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It's just I wanted more. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh
wanted
yeah.
more.
That's that for sure. Like the minute Sam walks through the door at the end, man, I was like, all right, next adventure, let's do it. And it's like, it's fucking over, bro. Like, go live your life. And it's because that's something that I did notice as well, is that this was one of those trilogies, just like with Back to the Future. When it's over, you have kind of a small void because you're like, dude, like, because you get really invested in it, in the story, you're loving the world and all that stuff, and it kind of had a little post Lord of the Rings depression for a brief moment once the credits rolled, but it. This movie had, like, from like to kind of spin off of what Adam was saying with the quotes, man. Like, each one, by the time you get to these moments, man, you're just like, damn.
Yeah.
For me, it was like when Frodo and Sam were on the side of the mountain. Frodo succumbing to the ring's seduction, you know, and
Yeah.
there's that whole part where Sam's like, I can't carry the ring, but I can carry you, and fucking picks his ass up,
Yeah.
starts carrying him to the, you know, you're like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That fucking song starts playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what. Okay, that's another thing that I wanted to bring up too, because we've kind of hit on it a little bit here and there, but I've unintentionally avoided Sam this whole time because he really shines.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
he to me kind of really
The
the
main
star of,
character.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Sam was always the bastion of like
Oop.
complete good.
Yeah.
How bad
That
did you feel
that
for him
fucking that
Oh
ring
yeah.
didn't
when he
tempt
tells him to go
him.
home and he's like, he just cries on the
Yeah.
side of the mountain?
Well,
Felt
throughout the
terrible.
whole, yeah, throughout, yeah, and those moments were like they hit you so hard because all throughout the story, just about everyone except for Aragorn, like well, even with Aragorn, like there's all these moments where the ring tempts them,
Yeah.
but for Sam to be next to Frodo the whole journey
Yeah.
and not once be like, "Give me that fucking ring, dude."
Yeah. Right. He is the embodiment of the audience, right? Because like
Yeah,
the
he's us. Yeah.
yeah, because we as the audience wants to see the ring destroyed. We want to see the good guys win. He is us pushing the plot along. It's a brilliant fucking like tool that the writer used. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
having the audience and the reader's embodiment into one specific character that's kind of like not even quote unquote the main character or everybody's favorite character, but they're so important to the story. It's phenomenal, dude. Oh my god.
Well, I mean,
And
you realize too that like if Sam wasn't there, the quest would have they wouldn't have made it. They would not have made it out of the end, dude.
yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, it
But
was
the same, but like you said, the you know, everyone was so integral to the story, at least on the Fellowship,
yeah.
that if any one character, even Gimli, if none of them were there, like nothing, like it was the 1 in 14 million for Lord of the Rings, you know?
Right, yeah. Such a good job, man. And dude, I mean, Sean Astin, like, look,
Yeah.
but he's never going to top. And there's a lot of people like uh Vigo, never gonna be able to top this character, never gonna be able to top this performance. Great actors, man, but like they just embodied those characters so perfectly and acted their ass off. It was beautiful, you
Well,
know?
like Elijah Wood, he's done other stuff, but he's fucking Frodo Baggins, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
he'll forever
yeah,
be
Well,
forever Frodo.
well, another thing that I thought was badass is something I noticed this go around throughout the story, or at least from Two Towers onward. Because I mean, the Battle of Minas Tirith was pretty insane.
yeah, legit.
Um, I mean, we had the ride of the Roram go down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but one of the characters, because I mean, the main characters were all great and everything, but guys, how fucking badass is Theoden in this movie?
Dude, he is fucking incredible, right?
Um, I mean, dude, like, because something that I started noticing in this is that, like, so in Two Towers, when they roll up and Gandalf, like, brings him back, you know?
Yeah. Sends Wormtongue to the fucking sheets.
Yeah. From that moment on, every scene, and I want, and like, to me, I'm like, dude, this dude's acting his ass off.
Yeah.
Each scene that the actor playing Theoden, from that moment forward up until he eventually dies in Return of the King, every scene he becomes more braver,
Mhm.
more like his strength returns to him,
Yeah.
and he gets just more like he gets more badass by the fucking minute. Like you
Yeah.
realize like why Sauron had to keep a lid on his ass.
Yeah. And dude, that speech that he gives, like whenever the riders all crest
Yes.
that hill, and he's like,
Oh yeah.
"We're gonna fucking die today, guys, but they're gonna have to fucking bring us down. Let's fucking do this shit." Like that scene, and then
So speaking of which, I'm gonna post this for Adam to throw on the production thing with the like we can either watch it at trailer time or we can watch it now. I've been waiting for this moment because I saw this a long time ago and thought it was really, really badass.
mhm,
But someone actually took a clip of J.R.R. Tolkien reading that moment where they're all lined up on the hill,
mhm,
and every like diehard Lord of the Rings like novel purists or film purists like or whatever, you could say what you want about it. This shit is almost 1-to-1, dude.
hell yeah.
Like you'll like it's pretty badass, dude. You're hearing him read it, so it's an old ass recording. But if you just listen to it and everything, when we get to it, man, it's fucking badass, and I think it's worth checking out.
Shit, we should go out on it.
Sounds good to me, man.
Oh yeah.
One thing that I wanted to throw in there was like, and I completely forgot about this whole little side plot that happened until the rewatch. Fucking Denethor has a funeral
Oh
while
yeah,
this
dude. When
battle.
that happened, I was like, "Is this extra?" 'Cause
Yeah,
I was like, "What?"
completely forgot. I'm like, this dude, they're doing the funeral, and dude's like, he's still alive. Like, what the fuck are
Yeah.
we doing right now? He goes in there and he's like,
How's
we
he gonna
need more
burn him?
wood.
Yeah.
We need more oil.
Like-
We're fixing to light this bitch up, dude.
Because he's like, "We're gonna die."
Yeah. So might as well just
I'm
go
taking my
outright.
boy and me.
Yeah.
We're going out on
We're
top.
going
How
home.
good was that
Yeah.
actor when he
Oh,
was
he was.
sitting there at that
I-
table eating
Yeah. And
Oh,
that
and
dude.
talking?
juice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude,
and just
he
like he was like he played that prick, man.
Yeah.
he was
Like Dragon Slayer.
as a side note, he was really good in that short-lived show called Fringe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was really good in it.
John Noble. But yeah, I completely forgot that that whole sequence, that whole subplot was that happened because there's so much stuff that's happening, of
A
course.
lot, yeah.
Yeah. But like Jesus Christ, I'm like, he's gonna fucking murder suicide while the battle is happening. And he's like, we gotta get Gandalf up here. And Gandalf's like, dude, what the fuck, man? And what about Gandalf in war mode? Like this is
Oh,
the first
dude.
time.
Where he's
Yeah.
like calling
Yes.
shit out. Everybody get on the
Yes.
date, man the door.
This is the first
Retreat.
time we see him go full like battle
I-
Gandalf.
Now, granted, my viewings of Two Towers and Return of the King kind of bleed in together.
Mhm.
I believe it's in Return of the King, but it's that shot where he's on Greyfax
Yeah.
and he is hauling ass across the plains and he casts light on
Yeah.
Rohan and the Nazgul.
Yeah, while they're
And
chasing
he's holding
the
his that is so fucking that was so fucking epic in my opinion, dude.
yeah. He is a bad, and he's when he shows up and old Denethor's like, fuck it. He's like, I'm taking control of this situation. He's like, you're sending them home? They're already at home. What are you doing? Like, we
Yeah.
gotta fight these motherfuckers. This is it. The elephants?
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Oh
That
my
only counts as
God.
one.
Yeah. That was fucking, and then dude, of course, Aragorn. Like his whole like if you want to talk about like main characters. You know what I mean? I would say Sam
Oh,
on that side, and then of course Aragorn on the other side, and Gandalf to an extent. But like he has his full arc laid out right there. Like he doesn't want to be
dude.
king. He knows he's got to become king. He's
Oh,
like,
and it's all summed up beautifully when
yes,
Elrond rolls up and he's like, "Look, man, your chick ain't coming with you, but you
yeah,
need to get your shit together and fucking be the king." And he's like, "Man, ain't nobody gonna listen to me." And he's like, "Bitch brought a gift," and brings out the damn sword.
yeah,
He's like, "You need to go round up some dead motherfuckers, man."
yeah,
So he casts his fucking mana. He plays Army of the Dead, and I thought it was like I don't know how I don't know about you guys, but like this go around, like watching it, like that moment when everything's done post battle and the fucking dead come up to him
They
and
can like
they're like
release us. It's like we got one more
that
fight, motherfucker. You know,
like
like
like like okay, so to shorthand it all, the king of the king of man
mm-hmm,
summons an army of the dead,
mm-hmm,
saves the day with it, and then he forgives the dead and releases them from their bondage
yeah,
with a sword forged from the fucking Elven Empire.
yeah,
How goddamn cool is that?
yeah.
You know?
Like fucking legendary stat, dude. The part that I fucking lost it at, we were talking about this last night, but the part that I just fucking lost all control of everything was whenever you see he gets crowned. It's after when they're having the celebration, right? And
Mhm.
he's sees everybody, acknowledges everybody. Then he walks up to the hobbits, and the hobbits are bowing, and he's like, "Oh no, you bow to no man." And then he bowed, like, dude. Every
Gut
fucking
punch.
yeah, dude,
Gut
every
punch,
fucking
dude.
time. Like, I'm just like, this is the guy that, like, single-handedly, like, well, not single-handedly, but, like, did everything in his power to stop everything from coming to an end on his side. He became king. He got the girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won the hero's journey. And he's like, no, 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 no.
I
No,
ain't the
you,
hero of the story.
no.
You are. Like,
Yes. And it just means so much. You know what I mean? Like, it's,
well, like at the very, very end, when they do the assault on the Black Gate,
yeah.
he doesn't say anything for himself, for man, for whatever. Like they all charge in for the fucking hobbits, man. Like
Hmm.
purely for them. And
Yeah.
like once again, dude, like the story's overarching themes of friendship
Yes.
have such massive payoffs in this. And you can tell like I mean, to bleed a little bit of everything. Tolkien crafted a story in the midst of like some of the shittiest times to
Yeah.
be, in global events,
Yeah.
so you can tell a lot of that bled over into this, obviously.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the only way, like, yeah, because like all throughout all of it, the the big underlying theme is like, man, when shit seems like it is at its fucking worst, man, like
Yeah.
you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
Like that's the one that seems to be the underlying theme of the movie is like there are some tasks that like you're gonna have to see it through yourself if it's your own personal arc, but you're not gonna be able to just solo and you can't solo queue in this in your journey,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it yeah, fucking what
Yeah.
more can I mean, I can't really say any much more on it, dude. The movie's fucking amazing. The
Yeah.
film series, I mean, there's a reason why it won all the shit it did
Yeah.
and why and once again why I'm still I I feel like I've been slapped in the face watching these movies because it's like it shook me out of this like coma that shit like Marvel and Star Wars has put me in.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's made me really realize like dude, we've been gypped for a while
Yeah.
in terms of Hollywood production. And it's not to discredit the visual effects artists that make these spectacle movies what they are today, but you can tell something's lost. Like if you
Yeah.
can, if somebody can sit through these that have never seen them, and then turn around and go try to watch like any of the early MCU and stuff, sure you'll like them for what they are, but like you'll realize on a production level that like we've been kind of screwed over a bit,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
at least companies aren't willing to let people truly just see their vision out.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And that's the thing. I was watching an interview earlier today with Peter Jackson, and the interviewer was like, you know, the message behind the story and the message behind the Lord of the Rings. He's like, is there going to be anything sprinkled in? And he's like, well, these are Middle Earth problems. These aren't our problems. Why would I want to not only like desecrate the message that was intended in the original source material, but also pull that message down with all this political stuff that's happening? And it was, it was a click moment. You know what I mean? I was like, that's absolutely correct. Because, and like, not to get too far out there on this topic, but like, there's things that are written, there's source material, there's things that exist specifically with these messages and things in mind, and they're there for a reason, they're impactful for a reason. And if they're adapted well and adapted correctly, then they're impactful to a much wider audience.
Well, they become timeless.
Exactly. So trying to mold what shouldn't be, like we've seen with the Rings of Power or whatever that Amazon show is, trying to mold that into something that it never was supposed to be in the first place doesn't work out the way that the studios and the writers and everybody else that's involved thinks it's going to work out. There's a like the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 thing. There's no message or hidden agenda there. You've got a good guy, you've got good guys, you've got the bad guy, you've got animal cruelty is like the only real message, but you've got friendship. What's more universal across all of humanity than you got this and you're not alone? You've got people there to back you up. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
and to me it's just like hats off to him, even back in the day, whenever these movies were released, that he stuck true to what Tolkien's original message was, and like and conveyed it in such a beautiful way. It's just hats off to him for that, and like I said, I've had an eye-opening experience while watching this as well, and I've come to a lot of the same conclusions that like I don't our fandom is being preyed upon. You know what I mean? Our fandom
Yeah.
is absolutely being cannibalized for money, and like this is a rare situation, a rare instance where like fandom and intent and staying true to what the original was all coalesced into something incredible. And that's all I got to say
Agreed.
about it. It was a great ride, man.
It was.
And I have a feeling that like I'm gonna put this into the yearly rotate, because like I said, dude, this is the first time I've watched these movies since the extended cuts dropped back in the day,
Mhm.
and I'm they're going into rotation.
Well, this was my first foray into the extended editions. My
Mhm.
personal copy of the films were always the theatrical cuts, which they're great on their own.
Yeah,
They serve their purpose and they scratch the itch for sure. Um, but I do think that whenever I do return back to these movies, I'm probably going to have to keep the standard at the extended editions now. They are the superior way to take in this story for sure. Yeah, it adds a little more runtime to your viewing for sure, but I think it's absolutely worth it, man.
Mhm. Yes, it was. Are y'all going full star then? No, just kidding.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I think it's an honorable mention to give too here. Tip of the hat to composer Howard
Oh
Shore.
man.
The music for this is like this music was so good. Zack Snyder took it for the Superman teaser.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that I'd seen on Twitter. Well, X or whatever. Someone had I have a few Snyder things that I follow, and someone had posted in the for you the original Man of Steel teaser, and sure enough, like in one of the comments, someone was like, "Funny how they used the Gandalf death music." Where where you just hear the high pitch, the da 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 da. Like I never put two and two together, but it was funny. But yeah, Howard Shore though, like I said, a hell of a score. I still think the piece he wrote over the sequence of Gandalf and the Balrog fighting is, I mean, dude, it gets the chef's kiss, man.
Yeah.
And
Epic.
yeah, and kind of what Griffin was saying though, in a way, like, and I know you and I have have talked about this before on and off pod. But the weaponization of media and putting in agendas. I mean, I know that's a buzzword. I know that it's a quick way for people to start rolling their eyes and stuff, but it's true, man. And when you go back and watch something like this, it only becomes more blatantly obvious.
Well,
Now,
like so many older movies, there's a lot of them, that are just, it's different.
it really is.
I
Like
watched Mystic
something's
River
lost, and
with my grandfather.
good movie, man. I ain't seen that in a minute.
2003 is when that came out, but it's kind of, it doesn't, it's back when they just made movies. The reason we watched this because we watched The Drop, and that's that guy Dennis Lahaina, something like that. He wrote, Gone Baby Gone. The Drop was really good. It was James Gandolfini's last movie.
I think I remember when that was advertised.
2014. I heard him talking about it being his last movie. I was watching an interview because I'd been watching some Sopranos.
Yeah.
And I heard it mentioned and went and watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, it's got Tom Hardy in it, But that's the guy that did Shutter Island.
Is The Drop, is that the one where he adopts the dog?
Yes.
Yeah. Me and Marina watched that.
They're doing dude, that ending though.
Yeah, right.
They never see you coming, do they, Bob?
The Sopranos was always one of those shows that I don't think I could ever rewatch again, but I'm glad I did watch it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got a one viewing, a one and done under it.
Drop was good. It's been a long time since I've watched it, but I remember that was one of the first like Tom Hardy movies that I watched because it came out 2014, 2014. Yeah, so I remember.
What was the movie where it was him and Shia LaBeouf and they play like some bootlegger son?
Oh man,
it wasn't.
He always wore a cardigan and walked like he had
a really like room.
He had that mountain man
understanding.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf and Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I remember watching that. It was good. What was it? Not The Drop. It was Lawless. 2012.
That was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, because the first thing I saw him in was Inception, and I was like, this dude's gonna be big. And then I watched The Drop after that. We were on vacation, and it was playing on like HBO or something, and I was like, oh, this got that dude from.
I'm not sure how long after that. I think I ended up watching Bronson.
Oh yeah, right.
And was like
dude can act his ass off.
Yeah, like I'm fucking down, dude.
Yeah.
It's to me the scene that won me over as Tom Hardy as an actor is that scene in Bronson where one side of his face is painted, and the other side he's having a conversation with himself.
Yes, yeah.
And the way he just flips sides and talks and just kind of bitches himself out and everything, I was like, dude, that's some good delivery.
He owns some other stuff, you know.
I mean, since we're already in Bronson territory, the whole part where he fucking has that guy come in his cell and he locks it and he's like, shut up, you cunt. And he throws him the Vaseline. He's like, rub me down quickly, and he fucking, he does that shit. Then he just proceeds to beat the fucking shit out of like 4 guardsmen. Just like.
So, did y'all rate it?
Full fucking star.
Yeah, gets full ring, right?
Yeah, that happened. You must have when you dropped because I said, I guess y'all are giving it a star, right?
Yeah.
After we
it gets the coveted.
Yeah.
It gets the coveted Golden Real Estate Smeagol.
Oh God, dude, I forgot he bit his finger off. Like I completely forgot that Gollum bites Frodo's finger off. I'm like, holy fuck, he's going in on this dude.
All you had to do was pull the ring off.
Yeah, right.
I mean, dude, the way he fucking dies, dude. He's falling into that volcano. He is very much aware he's dead, but he does not give a fuck. He's got that ring. And he achieved his plan. That's one thing too. Smeagol actually executed his plan to get the ring.
Yeah.
Like he won.
Yeah.
But he didn't win.
I got a little bit of movie news if y'all ready to touch on this real quick. So Tron Ares is to finally begin filming.
Did we cover Loki?
It was last week, wasn't
it? Yeah, the last episode came out last.
Oh, this is a long ass movie, guys. So I was just, for some reason, I thought we didn't go over it. No, but yeah, okay, my bad. Yeah. My bad.
I'm pretty sure we went over it last week, right? That was I don't know. I think we did though, right?
Let's see when that episode come out. Aired.
Yeah.
It was November the 9th.
Oh yeah, we definitely.
So
okay.
We definitely touched on it last episode, yeah. But so Tron Ares. So now that the writers and actors strikes are resolved, Disney's third Tron film is finally slated to get cameras rolling. Tron Ares, the long-awaited sequel to Tron Legacy, has been the topic of conversation for years now and is currently set to be directed by Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, Helmer, Joachim Ronening, I don't know, with Jared Leto in the lead role. While production on the film has seen multiple delays, it now looks as though things will start up in the next month or two. According to a new report from Collider, Tron Ares is expected to begin production in in Vancouver, right after the quote unquote after the holidays. So it seems like a late December or early January start date could be expected. In addition, Toledo Tron Ares stars Evan Peters, Greta Lee, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Cameron Monaghan. The property is a hot one for Disney, especially after the recent opening of the Tron Light Cycle Run attraction debut at Walt Disney World earlier this year. Yeah, I'm a producer on whatever the upcoming film becomes, and hopefully we'll get to make it one day soon, but we're still in development on it. Producer Justin Springer told comicbook.com earlier this year, and there's not much that I can say about that just because we want to get everything in order and we want to make sure we have a movie that feels like it meets the ambition of the things that have come before it. So I would love to do it. And I think now the ideas that we've explored in Tron and where you would imagine those ideas evolving to are more relevant than they've ever been. So it feels like the right time. And there's a giant ride here now, and there's one in Shanghai, but we have to get it right. We have to get the story, and we have to get the team right. And so there's still stuff to do before we have much to say about the movie. Steven Lisberger, The director of the original Tron isn't fully involved in the new franchise entry, but is offering some advice and guidance on bringing another Tron to life. I play the Obi-Wan role where less is more. Liz Berger told comicbook.com. Ideally, I could give them 3 sentences. That's all they would need, but I'm not down to 3 sentences yet. Okay. So we've got another Tron movie. And with Jared Leto, like, that's interesting, but is he going to be like the villain?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
Evan Peters is kind of a big deal. So,
well, with Ares, obviously, some sort of type of wars coming to the grid.
yeah.
But the only thing that kind I hate that the reason it's being fast forward is because of the fucking ride that kind of cheapens it a bit.
Hmm.
Because I feel like Tron is one of Disney's IPs that, I mean, maybe I just live under a rock, but I feel like it doesn't get quite the love it 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 deserves.
Not like it did
Yeah.
back like it did in 2009. Was that when that one came out?
Yeah.
Um,
And the whole
Legacy was
blow up and the release and 3D.
Legacy, yeah, and I mean, yeah, I wonder how they're going to up, like kind of what dude was talking about, how they're going to up the ante a little bit. Because I mean, when that movie dropped, that was one of, to me, it was still probably of that little era of, let's pump out 3D movies. Like,
Yeah.
I would say it was one of the better. It
Yeah,
was
for
up
sure.
there. It was up there with Avatar, honestly,
Yeah.
in terms of feeling like you got your money's worth out of it. Because I mean, for me personally, I was mouth breathing the whole fucking time I was watching that movie in theaters.
Yeah. Well, and to me, it feels like Tron's always one of those properties that like a lot of people reference, a lot of people love, a lot of people enjoy, take inspiration from, but it feels like something that Disney has never really wanted to take many risks with it. Um, and now, like, is now the right time to take another risk on it? Sure. I mean, they're losing the Marvel fandom, they're losing the Star Wars fandom. Why not take a risk on Tron? But we'll see. Like, we'll just have to wait and see how they make it work. Because if it's like, to me, Jared Leto, if he's in the movie and more likely play a villain, is it going to be a cut and paste of the villain role from Blade Runner 2049? Like, what are we doing here? And with
Well,
the way that technology is advancing, it's like, are we getting to that point where they're not going to be going into it where
yeah,
it's manifesting
that's
itself in real
I
life?
f- yeah, I feel like the obvious route is that they're gonna find a way of bringing the grid world into the real world. Like they're gonna find a way to either use AI and augmented reality to kind of have it to where, like, that would be a cool twist on it, where you have a character another descendant of Flynn,
Hmm.
dealing with all of the all of the knowledge of what the past two movies have figured out, and how they're going to be able to manifest Tron back and keep him still like the one they've got to get to be like, man, you got to help us, like, wake, bringing him out of the, breaking him out of the system and making him actually do his thing.
Right. It's going to be interesting, and I think that they could do it. And I think that if they use inspiration for something like, if they didn't want to bring it to real life, if they would use Ready Player One type of inspiration there, where like people are almost living in this augmented reality world now. And what does that look like whenever you have millions of people plugging into that augmented reality world on a daily basis? And what's the
How do you
ramifications?
Yeah, like how do you take the movie They Live and apply it to Tron?
Yeah,
you know?
right. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I mean, here's the thing about
Or
Tron for
but I
oh,
mean, I don't mean to interrupt, but honestly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The aesthetic of Legacy, I think, would still fucking hold up, man.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
design of that world, everything was gorgeous. That's just the thing about that movie is it was so aesthetically pleasing to watch.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me with Tron, it's one of those things where it's like I can take it, I can leave it. You know, like I'm happy with what we've got. I'm
Yeah, for
excited for
sure.
more, you know, but like am I like over here like, bro, fucking Tron. We need one now. Like I'm like, you know,
No,
we'll,
it's one of those pleasant surprises.
yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
and I think that's also where to circle back to how like what I was saying with it being kind of this under underappreciated IP that Disney's got. That also is a great advantage because it's going to allow this to cook at a perfect time, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
maybe we'll get served up something really
Yeah,
fucking good and
time for
really
a break.
cool.
Yeah.
Some the other.
Speaking of blast from the past here, Jordan Peele is remaking The People Under the Stairs.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So Jordan Peele's The People Under the Stairs, a reboot of Wes Craven's 91 horror flick, is progressing. According to Deadline, Doom Patrol scribe Ezra Clayton Daniels has joined the team for Peele's anticipated film and will write the screenplay. Daniels collaborated with Peele for his New York Times best-selling Out There Screaming, an anthology of new black horror, an exploration of the horrors, both supernatural and societal, that haunt our nation. Daniels is known for creating the graphic novels BTTM, FDRS, and Upgrade Soul, which both earned nominations for the Eisner, Harvey, and Ignatz Awards. The latter graphic novel was adapted into an Audible original series and is in development as a film. Daniels has written multiple episodes of Max's Doom Patrol, a segment for the black horror anthology Horror Noir, and for the Sissy Speck led Night Sky series. Since his directorial feature debut Get Out, Peele has proven to be a genre visionary, offering satirical commentary on themes like class, race, and gender through horror. People Under the Stairs is a collaboration between Peele's Monkey Paw Productions and Universal Studios, with Peele and partner Wim Rosenfeld attached to the project as producers. No word yet on whether Peele will be at the helm for this one. The project, which was first announced 3 years ago, is still in early development. So Peele was a producer on the Candyman reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was more like a continuation, like a legacy sequel. But I really enjoyed the new version of Candyman. So even if he's not attached to like write and or direct it, it's still fascinating, and it's gonna be good regardless if he's gonna attach his name to it, right? Like he ain't gonna allow some bullshit to slip out, right?
Mm-mm.
So, but this is crazy, man. Like the People Under the Stairs is getting a
Dude,
reboot, you know?
one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
I think it's safe that, you know, what would now be more obscure movies, you know,
Hmm.
for general audiences. It's cool that he's doing the reboot game with, you know, kind of picking and choosing it.
I
Yeah,
wonder who's
right.
gonna
Um,
play Dave Mustang, looking
I mean,
ginger,
Uh,
because he's in the
he could
movie.
come back. Yeah, he could come back though.
I mean, my personal favorite movie from him is Nope. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm down for it. He hasn't dropped the he hasn't missed a hit yet, you know.
yeah. I'm excited to see how that comes out because I mean, it's crazy that Jordan Peele, who's like doing some pretty interesting and original things with horror movies, is doing a remake of a Wes Craven flick. You know what I mean? And it's not like Wes Craven. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not a big high profile property.
Oh, well, I mean, you can tell that, or at least to me, the pivotal moment where I was like, yeah, Jordan Peele's down with some classics was just the way he crafted Us.
Yes, yeah.
Um, just the way he did that movie gave me vibes of like like those movies could be on the same shelf with like Wes Craven and Carpenter and all those guys.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw that
So,
movie when I was 5, and I was like, "What?
Yeah. Wait a minute
Yeah.
These
now.
people are putting their kids? They're getting these kids, adopt them, have them, put them under, and their brother and sister." I'm just like, "What?"
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Mm.
I haven't watched it in so long. Like, if I watched it now, it would be like a fresh view, you know?
It's one of those movies you traumatize your kids with to make them
That's what my
behave.
grandmother did. For real.
That was
She's never let
child's
me
play to
watch
me.
that. She's the one that will let me
Yeah.
watch like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. She was trying to scare
Dude,
me.
that fucked
Yeah.
me up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what she thought it was funny that I didn't want to walk home at night and I was having night terrors, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, real funny.
I feel like one of the scary. I mean, regardless of age, but if you think about of like being a child, like the concept of a body snatcher, that like a face that is supposed to be familiar and comforting is actually trying to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
That's frightening.
You know,
Right.
Barbarian was real close to kind of People Under the
Yeah.
Stairs, like it kind of different, but I could see the influence
mean,
there.
I'm hoping maybe this works to where he will eventually, and I'm sure he could walk into the studio right now and probably be like, "Hey, I want to redo this, seminal horror film," and they're like, "Yeah, go for it. Here's all the money in the world." Just on the merits of what he's already put out, and it'd probably do fine. But it would be cool that he's just building a resume to where eventually he's like, "All right, I'm gonna tackle a behemoth of a movie. I'm gonna do it my way and all that kind of stuff. Throw his taste and flavor into it
Yeah.
and give us. Imagine if he could somehow uh, get a hold of one of the slasher characters and just what he could do. Like, what if would you watch a Jordan Peele Friday the 13th movie?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because here's what Jordan Peele, at least from like, which Candyman was kind of the perfect property for that to go
Oh,
the
for
way
sure.
it did. But like what Jordan Peele is going to do, or at least whatever he attaches his name to, is like, look, if there's like political commentary and social commentary and all that kind of stuff in the film, sure, make it tasteful, make it make sense, but also acknowledge what came before it.
Yeah, for sure. And
And
with and you know how like and the thing with Candyman though is that it just it was just him producing it. So I
yeah,
try not. So I don't. That's one of the reasons why I'm like, man, I'd like to see him specifically sit down, pen to paper, and write out one of these, you know, type of reboots and stuff.
yeah, yeah,
So, and this is going to be a really cool first outing of him trying to do that.
yeah. So, and I like Doom Patrol. So them pulling one of the writers from Doom Patrol over, because
Oh,
Doom
it's in good
Patrol,
hands.
yeah, yeah, because Doom Patrol has some like really wild out there ideas, and it translated well to the small screen. So I'm interested to see how some of those ideas similar to that will translate to the big screen. So.
Yeah.
So speaking of Disney, Disney is no longer releasing Austin Butler and Tom Hardy's The Backriders. So The Backriders, starring Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, and Tom Hardy, will no longer be released by Disney. A new report from Jeff Snyder reveals the drama, which is set in the 1960s and follows the rise of a fictional Chicago motorcycle club, was removed from the Disney release schedule just 2 months before it was due to land in theaters, with The House of Mouse now reportedly dropping out of distribution. New Regency, the studio that financed The Backriders, will now shop the movie around and seek out a new distributor and are, quote, open to all possibilities, including a streaming release. No reason for Disney's decision has been given, but it is possible that the issues that have arisen from the now concluded actors' strike led to the studio backing out in order to prioritize other projects. The Bikeriders has been well received by critics so far, with MovieWeb's own Patrick Hayes heaping praise on the vision of director Jeff Nichols. The Bikeriders was recently delayed amid the SAG-AFTRA strike, while the movie, which stars Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, and Tom Hardy, had been given a release date of December the 1st, 2023. The film was pushed back after talks between the Actors Union and the studios yielded no results. At present, the Bikeriders does not have a release date at all. While the Bikeriders is now unlikely to land in December, several other major motions, nope, several several other major projects are set for release, including the action outing Silent Night, Poor Things starring Emma Stone, Wonka, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, The Iron Claw, The Color Purple, um, Renaissance, a film by Beyonce,
It's like
apparently.
a
It's
concert movie thing.
yeah, which is due for release
Whatever,
on
you
December
know.
the 1st. Yeah. So it's interesting, like it's interesting that Disney kind of backed out because like I mean, of course this isn't
What's
you
rated
know,
R?
well, it's rated R, but like dude, they've got Fox. They could have
Sure.
released it under the Fox banner.
And it's
Like
got an 85%
yeah, so
currently on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like, why would you?
well, what happens in the movie that they're like, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah, it has to be
so,
something like that.
yeah, right. So and it's a bike gang from the 60s.
Yeah.
What can you expect to be in that movie?
Yeah.
If it's period
Kind of hard to work
appropriate.
your agenda into that, right?
Yeah, let's
What
be
global
fair
warming?
here. Yeah, so but I mean, look, it's a win-win either way. The movie's going to get released. I'm looking forward to it. It looks great. It could go straight to streaming,
Yeah.
which is great. That means we get to watch it sooner. It could go to theaters. It could do a simul release if they wanted to do that. Either way, it's a win-win for us.
I think Warner Brothers will pick it up.
Yeah,
I think it'll
and
go
here's
to HBO if not the theaters.
yeah, here's what would be crazy. What if the Bikeriders comes out and it makes like $1 billion?
Yeah, I hope it does.
And Disney's like, dude, what the fuck, man? Yeah,
Kathleen.
yeah. So, but at least, and I'm really am excited for it. I think Austin Butler's going to kill it, and of course Tom Hardy. I mean,
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be good.
yeah. Speaking of Disney, Taika Waititi thinks his Star Wars movie will quote piss people off. So, Taika Waititi is one of the directors who will be behind one of the many upcoming Star Wars projects, and it seems that he already knows that his film will be controversial and will generate mixed reactions from fans. In addition to having experience within Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe as a director and actor participating in the Thor saga, Waititi has already been part of the Star Wars universe, directing and starring in The Mandalorian. In addition, his close relationship with Disney goes even further, having participated in the Toy Story spinoff Lightyear. So no one was surprised when Lucasfilm confirmed that the filmmaker had been chosen to direct a new movie set in a galaxy far, far away. Project has suffered several delays, especially due to the busy schedule of Waititi, who this week is releasing his most recent movie, Next Goal Wins. But it is expected that he will be able to make considerable progress on his Star Wars movie in the coming months, and it seems that he already knows the film will have an impact. Speaking with Variety at the premiere of Next Goal Wins, he was asked to describe his Star Wars project, and the director revealed that it will be controversial. Quote, it will be, dramatic pause, a Taika Waititi film. It's going to piss people off. The filmmaker did not reveal many more details, and in fact, very little is known about his film, so there is still a long way to go before we know if it will really be as problematic as he says. Here's what I'll say though. He already knows what he's going up against, right?
Oh,
So
it's gonna piss. Is it a new Star Wars movie?
Yes,
It's
yeah.
gonna piss people off.
So that's
even
the
if it's great.
Yeah, so that's the question. Is he feeding into
Just getting ahead of it.
the fandom? Yeah.
He's like, they're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
it comes out and I'm like, oh, not that bad. Interesting approach.
Yeah. So, and with what he's done with Thor, we got 2 Thor movies. We got Space Thor and we got Earth Thor. And like Earth Thor goes to space. Space Thor was better than Earth Thor. You know what I mean? So Ragnarok was way better than the last Thor that came out. Love
Spore
and
and
Thunder.
Ore.
Yeah, Spore and Ore. Yeah. So to me, with him doing a Star Wars project, it makes sense, right? Because he's done, space-esque movies before where the rules are already kind of pre-written and everything. Um, but here's the thing, as long as it like encapsulates some of that like I want nothing more than like a light-hearted, fun, adventurous Star Wars movie. Like with all this like with and I know that that's kind of contrary to like what Star Wars is, because it's like the end of the world is happening in every movie. There's this huge threat that our heroes have to take down and all this stuff. But the Solo movie, it was that way. It was like the world's not ending. Here's some crazy shit that happens. We're going on Han Solo for an adventure. Enjoyed it. It wasn't like so serious. So if he can do something like that, I think I'll be okay with it.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
think
I
Disney
mean,
was like? I mean to cut you off, but do you think
oh
Disney
no.
was like, "Why the fuck did he go out there and say that?"
No. I think that he was going to be like, well, when people ask me how the movie's going to be or anything about it, I'm just going to tell them it's going to piss people off because they're going to be mad
Because it's a
regardless.
Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I think that was like pre-planned, like you know what I mean? Because that's what I would do if I was making Star Wars and I was given the
Oh
freedom
yeah,
or so. I'd be like, you guys are going to hate it one way or another. It could, you
yeah.
guys are going to hate
You're
it.
gonna
So I'm
hate
just
it,
going
but
to,
fuck you. You make one.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
exactly. So
I mean, I can't help but think that, kind of like what you guys have already said, though. It's him addressing the the more toxic side of the fandom, but at the same
He's
time,
he's facing the tauntaun in the room.
yeah,
oh, oh, for sure. Well, I think he'll if I think he can absolutely pull off a good movie. Clearly,
yeah,
with especially with something like Love, not Love and Thunder, but with Ragnarok. And as long as there's someone there that can kind of rein him in from having a little too much fun
yeah.
and keeping Taika Waititi from being too Taika Waititi, I think he'll be just fine. I
Which,
don't necessarily, and not so much as not as much of an invasive reining in to where he doesn't get to see his vision, but it's like, it was that article that they had an interview with Chris Hemsworth where he was straight up just like, yeah, we were kind of a little self indulgent on that one,
yeah. Which is
and
crazy because the dude that made Jojo Rabbit has to be reined in a little bit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he flirted that line, but it was such a well constructed script. But he really flirted that line of like, is Hitler being offensive? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is this
but
too much? But yeah,
but I understand why Adam was like, do you think they were like, what the fuck? Because I mean, we're still in kind of, Disney's still kind of in some troubled waters right now, and I could see them definitely kind of freaking out at every little thing right now because they have all the reason to be, because
yeah,
things are looking kind of rough with their Star Wars Marvel department.
yes. Well, here's the thing though, Trav. There may be a silver lining in all of this yet because one Mr. Filoni is going to oversee Star Wars franchise as new chief creative officer for Lucasfilm.
What? They created a
Yes,
title for him?
yes, and a hat. They gave him a hat. Um, fresh off of writing, producing, and directing for Disney Plus series Ahsoka, Dave Filoni has now been promoted to chief creative officer for Lucasfilm. The news comes just a little over a month since Ahsoka finished its 8-episode run on the streaming platform, which Filoni was unable to speak about at the time of its premiere due to the SAG-AFTRA strike. Filoni joined Lucasfilm in 2008 after being offered a job by George Lucas that would see him develop the animated series Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Since that time, he's worked on a number of Star Wars projects and has slowly worked his way up the corporate ladder. The new position will see him work closely with Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy and Carrie Beck, head of development, as together the trio will usher in the next crop of Star Wars movies and TV shows. Speaking with Vanity Fair about the new position, Filoni mentioned how his role will now see him get involved much earlier in the development process. In the past, in a lot of projects, I would be brought into it. I would see it after it had already developed a good ways. In this new role, it's opened up to basically everything that's going on. When we're planning the future of what we're doing now, I'm involved at the inception phase. Filoni also mentioned how he won't be telling people what to do, but rather work to help them develop their creativity in order to tell the best stories possible for Star Wars fans. I'm not telling people what to do, but I do feel I'm trying to help them tell the best story that they want to tell. I need to be a help across the galaxy here, like a part of a Jedi Council almost.
He's the lore master.
Yes. So this is what I'm kind of picking up here. So this is hot off of the heels of the
10
South
hours
Park.
ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay. So, and that's kind of where I'm looking at everything. They don't want to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy because how much of a backlash is that going to cause from a certain segmented population?
And dude,
right?
I think she might like have some shit on some people because it don't
Mhm.
make sense. It's like, how much money do you
Yeah.
want to lose
Yeah.
before
So-
you fire this person? But they're putting him.
He's going
She's
to be
been
the Feige.
replaced, but she still has a job.
Exactly. Like he's going to
That's
be the
happened.
Feige. Yeah. He's going to be the one that's like, we're going to do the Star Wars stories. I'm going to be involved at the ground floor. I'm going to be the lore master, the story
She's
master.
just a producer.
Yes,
That's
she's
just-
going to be
she's
a
back
producer.
to where she should have been,
Yes, exactly.
where she's always been.
Yeah. So I think, to me personally, and then I'll leave it here for the moment, but like I think that this is a huge W for Star
Yes.
Wars. Everything that Filoni has done, just from what I've seen, and it's not everything, but from what I've seen, has been a huge W. So him being in a position to where he can help,
Steer the bus.
yes,
Yeah.
where he can, yes, exactly, is going to help immensely, and it's going to pull other people and their interests out of it, because at the end of the day, they want to make the most Star Wars stuff they can. We got to make sure that it's Star Wars.
Dude, whenever they like, we have these, he comes in there, it's like, all right, what do y'all have? Like all day long, he's like, that's not really going to work. It's going to make people look mad. Like, that's not going to do well. And then by the end of the evening, they roll out one more project, and he's like, I hate to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I am that guy. That's what I'm here for. You can't do this.
Yeah.
This can't happen.
Yeah.
And if it does, it has to be different. We have to work on it. But we all knew this was going to happen.
Oh, yeah, for
I
sure.
expected Favreau to be in there with him, but I don't know if he would want to take that on.
Nah, I think he's got too much
know what
other
I mean?
stuff going on, right? Yeah.
Got a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah.
But we all, with Mandalorian, Ahsoka,
Yes.
I mean, and he made them money on the other stuff, the animated.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, finally, when's going to be my time?
Yeah.
He got it. They made him a chief creative officer.
Well, and I remember seeing this thing, and there was someone that was like, Kathleen Kennedy was hand chosen by George Lucas to be the person that took over in his absence. So to go against her is to go against what Lucas would have wanted.
True?
Okay. Yes, this is what people are saying. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Lucas was a smart enough guy and a smart enough businessman that he put the people around him that did the best work that could possibly be done. Filoni,
But he was also still involved.
Right. Filoni is a key example here.
Yeah.
He brought Filoni in. He's like, we're going to do this animated series.
For sure.
He takes him under his wing like a mama bird and teaches him everything. And then, so I think what Lucas actually meant whenever he handpicked his successor at Lucasfilm was like, let her run the business side of stuff.
But use my people. I mean, I've got the people.
Yes. And Filoni's over here killing it with the story side. But somewhere that power went to somebody's
That's
head.
it, dude. I was about to say that. And it just, the girl power.
Yes.
Just went to her head as soon as Lucas was out.
Yes.
of the equation. It was like, oh, she was like a. Remember when Frodo was like, "Do you want to take the ring?" to that chick, and she was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, I can feel the power."
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that there's projects that are already in development, which is good because Filoni is going to go ahead and get his hands in there. He's going to get his claws in it, and he's going to like basically, hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, cross my heart, hope to die, that he's going to preserve the integrity of what Star Wars has always been.
He's earned the spot at that table.
Yes. So, and here's all I'm going to say. If he's able to get in there and course correct this ship and bring the Star Wars property back to what it was, it won't be long that he'll be over Lucasfilm.
Well, they had to have, I'd say, 10 years of just not so good.
Yeah.
Almost.
Sometimes you got to go through a drought to appreciate the water.
Yeah, and then it's like, then this guy comes along and starts putting these banger TV shows out.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've kind of been here the whole time. Like, he made us all love Baby Yoda. How kind of cheesy is Baby Yoda? But he made us all love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Baby Yoda took the world by storm.
He made me give a shit about a bunch of characters that I'd never seen, or that there's seasons of stuff that...
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't give two shits about Ahsoka or any of those characters, but within 3 episodes of that Ahsoka live action series, I was hooked, knew everything that I needed to know, and was along for the journey. So, what do you think, Trav?
I mean,
hesitantly
come
ambitious.
on now. It's got to be a little bit better. I know we're not out of the hot water yet, but
I think until
it's a peace offering.
I still, yeah, for sure. And I want to be optimistic, but I also think Disney's going to have to lose a lot more money before these ships get corrected the way that they should.
Well, and I think the writer strike has helped that. The new agreements, the terms, the streaming stuff. Like, we're going to see stuff change.
Yes.
I mean, and yeah, for sure. I mean, clearly we're already seeing a lot of those changes start to take hold. But yeah, just I'm glad that at least the guy that gave us Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's not James Gunn.
Yeah.
Oh man, right. Oh man, that's we're getting to that shit.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I like the idea that clearly the restructuring that's going on seems to be in audience's favor. And, only time will tell, man.
Have you guys watched that South Park episode?
No.
I still have
seen
not.
clips.
Oh, dude, listen. That shit came out and the internet clowned Disney. And, it's great. It's hilarious. And every bit of it's true. They got clowned.
That's what they need
hard.
sometimes.
And the day after it, they were like, so we're reshooting Snow White and we're going to add in the dwarfs. Like,
yeah.
They changed their whole thing. Where it was like, why are they making fun of us? It's like, hello?
Yeah.
Do you get online at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get on Twitter for just a little bit.
Yeah. Read some comments.
You'll see.
Yeah.
People don't like this shit.
Yeah.
We want to go back to the way it used to be. Like you were talking with Lord of the Rings earlier.
Yes.
Like, it's a movie, man. It's a show.
It doesn't have to be.
Don't look up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that. It's like, oh, you ruined this. Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you have a message, sure. But
sometimes people work it in and it's tasteful. They do it nice.
Yeah. But for
That's
the most
what I
part,
like.
keep the 24-hour news cycle out of my fucking
I don't want to
movies.
feel like I'm watching propaganda.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not programming me.
Of any kind, mind you. Of any kind. Like.
Yeah. And I think that there was a huge message that was shot out over the lack of performance from the Marvels and some of the other things that have happened
Oh,
recently. So,
lowest
Oh
film
yeah,
ever.
I saw those numbers. Ouch.
You know that burn.
yeah, yeah.
Not enough
Speaking of
aloe for
Marvel,
that.
though, we got a Marvel W in my opinion here. So there's been some casting rumors that are floating around, and two specifically that I want to hit on here. Reed Richards may be played by Pedro Pascal, and there's rumors that Galacticus could be played by Javier Bardem.
Dude, they've released a bunch of names.
Yeah,
Now,
they
and I'm
have.
like,
Yeah,
this is a thing, right? Like
they're in talks.
there was sources that were like, this is looking like it's
Yes,
going. I think this is what they're doing. This
Yeah.
is that spot where now, all right, they're like, all right, we're thinking about picking this guy. Let's put it out there.
Yeah.
And
See
let's
what
get the
people
blessing
say.
of the fucking internet because you got to.
Yeah.
And blessings, you know?
Yeah.
We're not worthy.
I think that for me personally, I think that Pedro Pascal would be a phenomenal Mr. Fantastic.
But
I mean, I don't there of course there's other people that they could cast that would probably like be more genuine to the characterization of Mr. Fantastic, but I think just from a pure actor standpoint and a performance standpoint, I
Yeah.
think that Pedro is able to deliver. I think he would be very believable delivering some very high level information to somebody else. And at the end of the
Well,
day, that's what Mr. Fantastic does.
well, yeah, and I don't know if you guys seen the rest of the Fantastic Four rumors and stuff like that. But one rumor is that the plot is that the film's going to focus around Sue Storm
I did see a casting for
and
her.
and apparently, and this is gonna, this might play into Pascal into his range and stuff, but they said that they're gonna write the script where it's gonna kind of shed a negative light on Mr. Fantastic.
Hmm.
And I can see where they could do that, but why in the first movie?
Yeah, I mean that's because, dude, like there was a long, like decades of where Mr. Fantastic was like the Marvel dad, and then like whenever they started doing crazy shit, like whenever they sent Hulk out into space and the Illuminati and all that, that's whenever they really started kind of diving into Reed Richards' more logical but cynical side. So why are you going to pull those punches early unless it's leading up to like him doing some craziness with Kang, if that's what we're doing or whatever.
Well, and
So
it could be a short run that they're going to use him for. Because we're in that world now where there could be more than one.
yeah,
You know,
Well, I
we're
mean,
there, so it could be
and
a short run. I don't see him sticking around for 10 years. I
now
really
No.
it could
don't. Not with his
also
kind of career. Like,
now it would be interesting if they deal with it, if they handle that type of characteristic in the way where he's he's the one that's seeing the larger picture, and he's realizing that, like, kind of like, he's the scientist that knows that, you know to make an omelet you got to crack a few eggs, and not necessarily in the evil way, but like, okay, in terms of like the multiverse saga, he realizes that timelines are going to be destroyed,
yeah,
like, but he's gonna know it, and that's gonna be some sort of reveal, like, later on, that makes everybody, during the big pivotal moment of a group movie where they don't trust each other and
yeah,
the band
there's the
breaks up for
fallout.
15 minutes. Yeah, they're gonna find out that he's been aware that all these timelines are caving in on themselves, or whatever the threat may be,
yeah,
and he's aware of it, but he knows there's nothing they can do about it. They have to focus on what they can.
Right.
But who knows?
Yeah.
I think it's an odd choice. I think it's very left field that it's Pedro Pascal, and not in a bad way,
Yeah. Well,
but
and
it's
for me, the odd choice is like you're gonna cast Javier Bardem as Galacticus. Like it, okay, it makes sense. I get it, but like, dude, if that doesn't scream Doctor Doom, I
that's your
don't
luck.
know.
What are you talking about, Bendejo? That's your lucky moon. Don't just put it with the other moons.
I mean, he would be a perfect Doctor Doom in my opinion.
I think he would be a really good Galactus. I mean, he's got
Yeah,
his vocal delivery. Like, he'd be a great voice actor for it.
yeah, I agree. And he would also be a great Mr. Fantastic as well.
Because
Like,
I think a lot of like people have been waiting for a long time for a proper on-screen version of Galactus to show up. Like good old-fashioned, you don't see the bottom half of his body, you just see him walking around the universe. you know.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, those are casting rumors, and nothing, of course, has been officially, announced as of yet. But that's what we've got so far. And I mean, hey, if they decide to go with this casting, then sure, I'm for it. But we've seen a lot of rumors about a lot of Fantastic Four stuff, and
especially here lately
yeah, and
within
I
the
think
week. Like
that
the dude Eddie from Stranger Things,
oh yeah, as
Joseph Quinn.
Human Torch,
He's,
yeah,
and I'm like, that's great.
yeah, that would be a
Do
Um,
great,
that. That guy's
we
great.
need we need well, it's crazy because it had the scene went down in the Fox universe instead of with the MCU. And it's all the more reason why I think the MCU is ready for it and needs this kind of moment to go down now because they always play safe with the heroes. No one ever, there's never a moment where the hero really fully breaks bad and stays bad.
right?
Uh, but we need something. I was thinking about the other day. We need a new scene that harkens back to Michael Fassbender in First Class,
Hmm.
where he's picking up the Magneto helmet after killing Shaw,
Yeah,
and you're hearing Professor X be like, "Don't fucking do this! Don't do it! Don't do it!" And he puts the thing on and cancels out his voice, and like you have that moment where you're like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
bad guy confirmed!" Like
right,
the big betrayal,
yeah,
and I think doing that with Doctor Doom, especially for audiences that aren't aware of who Doctor Doom is, they could still, I think, faithfully tell the Fantastic Four story and do some sort of reveal to where when Doom finally becomes Doom,
yeah.
it'd be, I don't know. I think the MCU needs something like that to.
Yeah, I agree. So speaking of Marvel here, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty loses its director as Destin Daniel Cretton exits MCU project. So amid recent rumors about a major change of direction for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that seeks to leave aside the story of Kang the Conqueror, director Destin Daniel Cretton exits Avengers: The Kang Dynasty to focus on another Marvel Studios project. Cretton, who began his career in 2012 with the film I'm Not a Hipster, joined the MCU in 2021 with Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings, which for many is one of the best films of the most recent phases. Thanks to the positive reception of the movie we know who it's starring. That same year, the filmmaker signed a multiple project deal with the company, and in 2022, he was announced as the director of the saga's first major crossover since Avengers Endgame. Unfortunately, it looks like the Kang dynasty will have to look for a new director. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Cretton is no longer attached to direct the movie. The good news, however, is that the filmmaker's departure is related to his need to focus on another project he has been pending with Marvel Studios, the sequel to Shang-Chi, which was confirmed shortly after the release of the first. The sequel to Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings does not yet have a release date. For the second part, Liu is expected to return as the titular character, surely accompanied by Aquafina and his best friend Katie. and Menger Minger Zhang as I can't pronounce those names. Protagonist's younger sister. Um, so I know that amid some of these things, there's been a couple of like shifts in schedule because we were supposed to get the Kang Dynasty and then Secret Wars, right? And I think that
Mhm.
they're shuffling these around. I think that they are moving the Kang Dynasty out and they're gonna like rush up Secret Wars.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, watching the Kang plotline play out, what we have right now, with the exception of Loki, mind you, and I know that's a big integral part for sure, but watching the Kang plot and all of this has been like watching a car going down the road and it loses its spoiler. Now it's losing the hood.
Yeah,
Then, the wheels are about to start coming off eventually.
right. Well, I mean, the thing is like with with Thanos, you had a lot of breathing room in there because you see the Infinity Gauntlet in Thor. You see him show up at the end of the first Avengers movie. You see, you get
Well,
the
the story was able to naturally move to Thanos.
yes,
Because I mean, even then, whenever he was just like he was an afterthought at the end of Avengers, like it was just something they shoehorned in there. Like they weren't planning the Infinity Saga at that point,
right.
and
So
but it was able, like the storytelling was still able to kind of, they were able to weave it in there.
yeah. So I mean, I think that they need to give like to me it was a mistake to have Kang as the villain of the Ant-Man movie. Because I mean, like I said when we talked about that movie, like you see Kang get his ass kicked so many times, then how much of a threat is he realistically going to be unless he just shows up and starts killing people? So I think that them backing off of the Kang angle for a couple of years, and look, I love Jonathan Majors. I want to see, I want them to allow the trial and everything to play out innocent until proven guilty and all that stuff. But it might not be a bad idea to just separate themselves from the Kang stuff for a little while, especially with the end of Loki happening, and like have him be a surprise villain that pops up at some point. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they could still do the Kang Dynasty. Let's do an Avengers movie. Let's bring in some Fantastic Four and X-Men stuff. Let's do another crossover movie. Let's do Secret Wars. Let's give it some time to breathe. Let's give people time to forget about Kang and start
Um.
questioning where Kang is, and then have him show back up and start wrecking ass.
So speaking of which, you mentioned a few different things there. I'm
Mhm.
aware of what the post credit to the Marvels is.
Yeah, me too.
Same.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Saw it on
Mhm.
Twitter.
Yeah, I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Um. So yeah,
But
Now I
I
didn't
haven't
see
seen.
the clip.
No,
I
me
read the
either.
description
Yeah.
of
I watched the clip.
so.
It's on
Oh,
YouTube.
hell yeah!
Yeah.
A
We can just go ahead and talk about
coworker.
that then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a coworker dropped it, but I mean, I think another thing too. I know we don't have to delve into it too long. I know we got to keep moving, but I do think that one of the things that has really fucked a lot of this up for Marvel has been Disney Plus.
Yeah.
For all of the quality stuff we have got in terms of like Loki and WandaVision, because honestly, that's about it.
Moon Knight.
I mean, Moon Knight's its own thing, Griffin. You know this, brother.
I
Like,
still have faith the Midnight Suns are gonna show up.
dude, and I'm right
Werewolf,
there, and I'm and
Werewolf by
I'm
Night.
and I'm faithful there with you, man. But and I think those shows should absolutely reign supreme on Disney Plus,
Mhm.
because those are like they can do that without having them bleed into the movies.
Yeah.
Because now, in order to understand Kang's plot, at least to experience the full Kang arc, you're gonna have to watch a bunch of movies now. Then you got to turn around and watch Loki,
Yeah.
and I don't know. You've got to you can't. There's a fine line between not treating your audience or insulting their intelligence and then just assigning them fucking homework.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I think if they can get back to where let the build-ups from the various films flow naturally to a given destination instead of, all right, guys, let's pump out 6 hours of, maybe 30 minutes of critical information.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's one way to course correct it for sure. Which, I mean, I know we went over it before how Bob Iger was like, yeah, kind of saturated some shit on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I mean, the Marvel's going to have to pull a Star Wars. They're going to have to re-earn the trust of their fandom. And that's what needs to happen. We see that happening right now with Captain Marvel because there's a difference between like inclusion and alienation, right? There's a difference
Yeah.
between creating inclusion and making interesting and unique stories that focus around that, whereas it's creating movies and stories for people that for the people that are going to pay to go watch your movie. You don't want them to go pay and watch that movie or give them any reason to. So I think that the next 5 years for me personally with Marvel is going to be, how can we regain the trust of the people that are actually going out and spending money on your movies and on your properties and on everything that you're putting out.
Yeah, and stop flooding the market. I know we're dealing with post-COVID and there was the big, halt in a lot of things for a little bit and we got our delays and whatnot. But I also feel like say if like back during the Infinity Saga, if we were still trying to like build up to that story right now, if Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 had came out the way they were putting out movies then, we would still be talking about it. We would have just gotten our November movie, the last Marvel movie of the year. And we cuz that's the thing. Volume 3 came out, made a big noise. Everyone loved it. We enjoyed it. It was the hit. It was the breath of air that Marvel needed.
Yes.
Now, fucking crickets, man.
Yeah, I know.
No one gives a shit about it now.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think a large part of that's just because it's like, all right, guys, we're building up to Loki season 2. Okay, don't forget we're releasing Werewolf by Night in color now. Okay, all right, guys. Um, uh,
The Marvels.
yeah, like
Secret Invasion. Yeah,
for the
I know.
5 people that give a fuck about the Marvels, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I think if they went back to just simple releases, keeping it quarterly, kind of like do the same thing to Marvel that they said they're going to do with Star Wars. They said they wanted to bring Star Wars back to a more event level experience where like when it drops, everyone's like, oh shit, fucking the family's loading up. We're going to fucking spend $100 at the fucking theater today,
Yeah, right.
Do that with Marvel again. I mean, it's not that fucking hard.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to have to do some rebuilding. But speaking of building an empire over here, we do have casting news for Superman movie. So
Let's
Nicholas
get this
Hoult
over with.
is cast as Lex Luthor in Superman Legacy. So Nicholas Hoult will return to the superhero genre alongside David Cornswet in the first official film of the new DCU, playing one of the comic book company's most iconic villains. James Gunn himself had anticipated news about new cast members for the upcoming film would arrive as soon as the actor's strike ended. Days ago, Gabriella de Faria was chosen to play the engineer, and now it seems that Superman will be also coming up against one of the arch villains of DC Comics in his first appearance in the new DCU. According to Deadline, Nicholas Hoult has been chosen to play Lex Luthor in the film directed and written by Gunn, which already has David Cornsweet and Rachel Bosnan on board to play Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Holt already played an important role within the comic book genre in the X-Men movies, portraying Beast, aka Hank McCoy, and was close to becoming the Dark Knight for the Batman, but lost the role to Robert Pattinson. In the months prior to the announcement of Cornsweet as the big star of Superman Legacy, Holt was named several times by insiders and outlets as one of the candidates for the leading role, and also for Luthor, with other names like Bill and Alexander Skarsgård also appearing as options. And then we know who Lex is, and we know who Nicholas Holt is. So, what do you think, Trav?
First off, if he would have got cast as Batman in the Batman, that movie would have fucking sucked. I don't see how he could have played Bruce Wayne.
Uh,
I mean, I've seen the fucking whatever Lincoln commercial he was in. Like, I fucking. But I mean, maybe he can pull off Luther.
yeah.
I mean, I'm keeping my expectations for this extremely low.
Hmm. Well,
I want to go in and leave a believer. That's my approach to Superman Legacy.
yeah,
Like, this movie is gonna have to win me over.
right.
I think you can have a tonally different movie, obviously, than Snyder's Vision. That's fine, but I don't want this weird, edgy, let's shit on the Christopher Reeves type campiness.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. I feel like there's room for that there. It's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a very self-aware movie,
I agree.
and I
Well,
don't know if that's gonna work for Superman.
well, I think that Gunn's going to take a different approach. I think that Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor is great casting. I like Nicholas Holt. He's got some great acting chops. I think that we haven't I haven't seen a movie with him where he breaks bad in it. Um, and I think that he has the gusto to do so. I think that I think James Gunn is going to handle Lex a little differently. I think he's going to handle Lex as the president of the United States Lex, the every businessman. He's not going to be the Lex in the suit with the kryptonite. Like, he will be at some point. I think that'll be way on down the road. But I think that Lex is going to be more or less a background player in the overall mythos of Superman for at least 1 to 2 movies before his real presence and all that's known. And I think that Nicholas Holt will do a good job at like showing audiences, kind of like how Michael Rosenbaum showed audiences the likable side of Lex, and the you know that
Well. When the switch happens, it's gonna cut deep.
Yes, exactly. And I think that that's the perfect way to do Lex Luthor's character. And I think that Nicholas Holt would do a fantastic job because you shave Nicholas Holt's head and you keep him out of the sun for about 3 months. He looks very similar to Michael Rosenbaum. Like, they've got the same facial structure, they've got the same body type. I feel like it's good casting.
Um, I know it would have absolutely no place in Superman Legacy, but there's a point, or there's a scene, I guess if you want to call it that. Uh, there's a part in a run called Superman Man of Tomorrow,
Hmm.
and it's like way in the distant future.
Yeah.
Um, where Wait, sorry. It's not that. It's fucking All Star Superman. I'm when I'm digging into the Superman vault, I get shit mixed up. But in All-Star Superman, there's this point where one of Luthor's assistants has walked in on Luthor, and Luthor's fucking in his study in front of all of his computers, just fucking plotting and scheming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's showing all these different shots of showing that he's obsessed with Superman, all that stuff. And there's a part where the dude comes up to him and he's trying to he's relaying his his itinerary for the day to Luthor and stuff. And Luthor's just like fixated on the computers and whatnot. And he's like, Luthor, like trying to snap his fingers, like, hey man, listen to me, And Luthor goes into the spiel where he's just like, all he says is he doesn't age. Because keep in mind, at this point in the book or in this comic or whatever, Luthor's like really fucking old. He's dying, all this kind of shit. And he's like, he doesn't age. He looks just as he does now as he did the day I met him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, it's basically him going, I need to kill this son of a bitch before I die.
Yeah.
And just that whole exchange is so fucking good.
Somebody's jealous,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I mean, it takes that classic, the rivalry, and it just, I don't know, it just gives it nice, soft, fluffy padding and just sits it on there like,
Yeah.
And it would be cool if Gunn eventually gets to a point in this story. So
Yeah.
but I always thought that would be really fucking badass.
Yeah. I think
And maybe the casting will work, man. I hope it does, but I'm just gonna keep my reservations,
Yeah, I get it. And it's not an out of left field casting choice for me. Like with he was in Renfield and then he was in The Menu, and I haven't watched Renfield, but he was great in The
pretty good.
Menu. And I think that
It's
like
comedy.
it's
He's
time.
funny.
Yeah, but he's played like comedy roles most of his time. He was in
Serious.
Warm Body. Yeah, I'm ready to see him break bad. Like I'm ready to see the reserved. Like we know who
Yeah.
Lex is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's I mean, yeah, like you're saying, have those moments where he's straight up cold, calculated,
Yes.
like, but we the audience know that he is fucking seething like a motherfucker right now.
Yeah, and he's batshit insane. He just
Like he
doesn't show it.
like, yeah, like I feel like we'll probably get I mean, with James Gunn, I feel like we'll get a copy and paste of the High Evolutionary, but
Mhm.
where Evolutionary goes 2-dimensional and just like snaps and freaks out and pitches his fits.
Yeah.
Luthor isn't, and we're gonna get depth with him.
Oh, he's
And
gonna do that on
hopefully,
the inside.
yeah, and hopefully they build up, they build up that tension between him and Clark, or him and Superman, because remember, that's still the thing that makes me kind of curious with James Gunn, is he's like, yeah, with my DCU, fuck origin stories. I'm just gonna throw them at you. Fucking deal
Yeah.
with it. And I know there's some heroes that we don't have to see. We don't have to see Clark Kent get raised by Jonathan and Martha Kent again. I know we don't have to see that shit. But
Yeah.
there's just some things, like for instance, you can't watch a Batman movie without Bruce Wayne in a cave surrounded by bats.
Mhm.
You
And
know,
Alfred.
yeah, like
Master
there's just
Wayne.
like it's almost part of the iconography of it
Yes.
of it all. Like we don't have to sit there and learn about him being like, yeah, I got smacked by a fucking shovel and it didn't do anything. I bent the shovel, if anything. Like we don't
Yeah.
have to fucking see that shit, but give us a badass opening montage of like the boy becoming the teenager, becoming the man, and it's like, dude, he's seeing
Yeah.
a Superman montage, which would be fucking cool.
I agree. But I'm ready for trailers.
All I could hear was like the whole thing. I think is Bruce. The whole thing. I think is Bruce.
Yeah,
The whole thing. I
yeah.
think is Bruce.
Shit. That fucking that's the scene in Batman versus Superman, the opening where he's
Mhm.
fucking being levitated into the light by the bats, and you're hearing him be like, "In the dream, it's always the same." Blah blah blah. I'm like, I see your Frank Miller fandom.
Yeah.
you
I see
know.
you. I see you.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the fucking. Remember the big giant bat sequence in Batman Forever?
Yeah.
It's Miller time, dude.
It is Miller time.
I had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to get some trailers, y'all.
That's
Not a
fine.
whole lot happening right now, so.
I already can feel that we're going to be podlocked on a bunch of these. I can
I'm just
feel
letting
it.
you know
dude.
ahead of time.
I want a sequence now
Yeah.
where it's me and Griffin sitting on like the deck of a ship, eating like an apple or something, and we're like, Adam, where are the trailers? And you're like off on the other side of the boat, and you kick an empty barrel over, and you're like, I ain't got no trailers, they're empty.
Yeah. We're fresh out of trailers, sir. More grog and more trailers. Yeah.
These trailers seem fresh.
Put them in 720p, you know?
Yeah.
All right, gotta calm down.
We found him on the indie websites. He didn't want to leave.
Little Jimmy the King there. All right. A creature was stirring. It's a Christmas
Pills.
movie, right?
Pills.
What's
Pills,
with this
fat-
helmet?
Pills, fat people, and Christmas. Okay. She's about to crack some nuts. Mm-mm.
Something is wrong. You got an old ass flashlight.
Should have bought Energizers. Dude, the Elf on a Shelf movie is looking pretty good.
That candy can't eat like shit up.
Dude. Better get out of there, Peppermint Patty. It's always hungry and it never leaves, guys. What are we going to do?
What are we going to do? Very colorful.
Yeah. They turned the saturation all the way up.
What?
What a tattoo.
Yeah. It's a choice.
I mean,
It looks good.
I think that's a Spalian.
right?
Trailers? Anyone?
No.
I mean, ads for the trailers. Everybody good?
Imaginary?
You good, Trav?
Yeah, I'm good. This whole new genre of like toys.
Chucky started it. Well, no, it would have been Master of Puppets, right? What was that?
Oh yeah,
What was that?
Puppet Master.
Puppet
yeah.
Puppet
Master.
Master. I said Master of Puppets. I think that's the first.
Well, I love how
Oh,
these movies are coming out
Chauncey.
like this is the first time this has been done, you know?
See.
Chauncey said something. He said that meatloaf was dry, bitch. Chauncey.
Holy shit.
She
Dude,
got
the Ed, Ed, and
tetanus.
Eddie movie looks crazy. They're making Plank the bad guy.
No, this is the horror version of Ted.
Let's see.
Dude, why did they steal your character, Griffin?
I don't know. They listened to the episode.
If only he had the laugh.
Mm-hmm. Do we?
Nah, we call them demons, bro.
It's a shame what they've done to the song.
Yeah.
Look at that.
The whole time I'm watching this, I'm just thinking of I'm just hearing whenever she was explaining the imaginary friends.
Yeah. It's going to make more money than it costs to film it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And then there'll be another one.
All I could think of was when it was like it starts to get resentful, blah blah blah. It made me think of Robert England's line in Freddy vs. Jason. Being dead is one thing, but forgotten, now that's a bitch.
We got a little
That's
Marky
not
Mark.
bad.
What?
Oh.
No.
We got ourselves a transformer over here.
We got ourselves a King Arthur over here. Like, I didn't
I
have
think this
Caliban in the
is a dog
stone.
movie.
He's
Is
gonna
Got a
go
this-
lot of
find you.
dog in it.
Is this the big budget version of
Benji.
My Wishbone.
No, what was Wishbone? Yes,
Yeah.
it's exactly what I was thinking about.
I know.
Where you come from, little guy?
Yeah.
You looking
What?
looking for your
No.
home? You,
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
Looking for your
transformer in the
home?
woods.
Yeah.
Optimus
Come
Prime
on,
fell down a
Wishbone.
well.
I
Yeah.
got nothing for you, little guy. I don't play frisbee. I'm
Yeah.
not a frisbee
I
guy.
wake up at 4 a.m.
It's gonna show him getting coffee, having a daily routine, and then this dog
Teaching
just
the
walks up
dog
and is
to
like,
do burpees.
"I'm gonna fuck your schedule and routine up, Mister Man. I got a lawyer. I got a board meeting at 10:30.
I
What
got
the
a fucking
fuck?"
Chauncey over here. All right, I'm gonna play it. This looks a little
Oh,
too
God.
happy. Already too happy on the pre-trailer.
Yeah.
What did he do to that dog?
I think they're just filming Wahlberg's training regiment at
Yeah.
this moment.
Is that Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
Shang-Chi. Not the other
Hey, I
thing
did
said.
call it. This dog just fucking wanders up to his ass.
So he's doing like that bad murder that.
Yeah. Oh God.
Well, yeah, a lot
Low
of bad
key,
stuff's
this-
gonna happen.
Low key, this is probably a really wholesome, good movie.
Dude, he's doing that thing though. He does that thing where he talks like that really fast, always. Like,
He's like, we
Yeah.
gotta get the fuck away from this cliff, man.
yeah, recognize the chick. Oh, he's taking that dog home.
Oh, that dog gets all the kibble.
Oh, then he gets hurt. No, come on, man.
Dude, the
That
paw.
dog better not die in that movie. I'm already sad. Ah, that's the chick from Game of Thrones. I thought she looked familiar.
Bear Grylls is in it. Cool.
I mean,
So we're podlocked, right?
age restricted.
Yeah.
What is it? Oh. All right. Well,
Bad.
yeah, it's PlayStation Plus. I don't even have a PlayStation.
Mine's about MacBooks. All right. The Teacher's Lounge.
AKA No Man's Land.
What was
Yeah.
the mature trailer?
Hang on. Hang on, I'll go look. I'm gonna play this though.
Okay. Shot on film. Guten Tag, baby.
Man, that's a lot of awards.
Ominous or ominous violin plucks.
It was Terrifier 3.
Ah.
Damn, is it really? Trailer can't be that bad. What's up with the aspect ratio?
Yeah, right.
What's happening?
I don't know, but I want to watch it.
I think she probably fucked one of them kids in the teacher's lounge.
Oh,
Because, I mean, there hasn't been one of those movies yet where, like, it's like the other way around with the grooming, you know?
Mm-hmm.
all right. Here's the secrets that she's keeping. Her old man knocked up a sheep and had a
Oh,
kid named
shit.
Nadah. This
We're getting
is
the sequel to the
gotta be
Land?
right. I don't know. It's probably
Yeah.
not, but
Joe
in my
Kinnaman's gonna
mind
be
it
like,
is.
he's gonna be talking like, "Yo, what are you doing over here?"
Oh,
You know, he
no.
always says, yeah, he always talks like out of the
Let's
corner
see.
of his mouth.
Yeah. What y'all doing over here?
What y'all doing over here? Peacemaker, what a joke.
I like her. She was in the drop.
Yeah. She's cute.
Wasn't she in.
Girl with a dragon tattoo.
Wasn't she in the fucking Prometheus?
She was.
Yeah, she was the original girl with the dragon tattoo, right?
Yep. And the remake. She was so good they put her in the remake.
Oh, I thought she was recasted by Kate Mara.
Oh, he's playing a German. Okay.
I feel like it's a twist where she's the damaged one and not him.
No, she wasn't in the remake. I've only seen the original.
That was a
looks cool.
badass. That was a badass little quick shot pulling out of that stairwell into the.
Yeah. No, that movie looks amazing. I kind of want to watch it.
The veil.
The veil.
Pardon me while I ponder the veil.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival?
Mm. Yeah, I read a comment. They said this was. Someone was like, I saw this at a H.P. Lovecraft Film Festival in Mobile, Alabama. Loved it.
Cool.
He said when it goes there, it goes there. Aurora Borealis. So it's aliens, right?
I don't know. They might be time slipping.
Then the face huggers show up. Trailer ain't giving nothing away.
No, but
You know what I mean?
that's another one. I wouldn't mind checking that out.
I'm down to watch for that.
Trailer.
I'll put them in that and the teacher's lounge.
The Teacher's
Or
Lounge.
the secrets we keep. That was the one.
The Secrets We Keep, yeah.
Oh, we got Aquaman.
Aquaman.
I got
I have an ad for Black Friday.
I've got one for Squid Games: The Challenge.
Whoa.
The reality TV thing.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, I'm good.
Same.
All right, Jason Momoa.
Jason.
Ooh, this trailer's louder.
Yeah, I know. The other two were.
We're very quiet. I don't know how I feel about this happy-go-lucky baby vibe. But he's birthed his replacement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool that he's back.
Mm-hmm.
Green Knight.
No, we got a baby. So he's gonna kidnap the baby. They gotta find him.
Puts a big rock on him. Yep. He took the baby. Damn, you called it. He must be stopped. Oh, he's going to get real mad when he takes the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's Star Wars underwater. I mean,
Yeah. QR code?
QR code, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonder what that goes to. Hell, I have to know.
I'm still excited to peep it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
The
it
first
still
one was-
it still visually looks like a fun time.
Yeah. Well, the first one was great, so
Yeah, it was a diamond in the rough, man.
yeah. Story of my life. Diamond in the rough, dude.
Oh.
Leo.
So it takes you to Amazon.com.
Hmm.
And you can buy only in theaters December 22nd, filmed for IMAX. You get IMAX tickets. I bet that does look good in IMAX. Oh, they got some toys too. Cool. Oh, you can get a fucking. Sheesh.
Spill the beans, boy. What do you get?
It doesn't show you. Oh no, it's.
Get one of them sick ass tridents,
They got a black one and a gold one.
dude. If only I could buy like a pack of 30 of them for like
I
little
want
derbs.
Gandalf's staff.
Yes,
Yeah.
and matching church warden.
Yeah. I'll take it.
I'll sit there and ponder the precious.
All right. Why you smoking for your pipe?
Yeah.
The precious or penitent man.
Dude, speaking of that, he got some of that that weed from. he was out there
hobbits.
chief. Yeah, he was chiefing on the he couldn't keep it down,
Yeah.
dude. It was too much for him.
He's like, yes.
He's a hobbit head.
Yeah.
The age of AAA title video games is going away.
Yeah. The penitent
But
man.
how?
Fortnite OG map.
He created a scandal and died.
Leo.
I mean, that
What?
describes everybody.
Yeah. Wait, shit. Oh.
Leo.
Boot.
It sounded like he said at the beginning, it sounded like he said, you don't get to fuck me.
Yeah. All right, where's the cops?
No cops in
tone
this
change.
trailer. There's snow.
This dude's hair. That is the Hindi Mel
That dude-
Gibson.
That dude shows up in every movie just to laugh with a cigar.
Yeah. Waylands.
Oh shit! Give me that soundtrack, dude.
Now it's time to kick ass.
See, fighting
Hyena.
hyenas too.
Look, it's Hindi Mel Gibson, dude.
There's
Look.
the cops.
Kicking everybody's ass. He has soul of hyena. Hell yeah. Leo don't take no shit, dude.
No,
Leo's a badass.
bloody sweet.
He's a fucking badass.
Huh?
Rest in
Oh, yeah, that's-
peace.
Y'all got to clip that and soundboard it. Rest in peace.
I have the token.
Yeah, man. This was a fun mashup, man. I was glad somebody made this.
Nobody's got an ad.
No, I'm good to go.
The copy of the movie that I watched looked amazing.
Yeah, same.
Like, how brave were they? The hobbits went into battle. everyone there thinks they're gonna die.
Yeah. Damn.
Wordsmith.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
real.
dude, I'm gonna, it's like that meme. I'm gonna tell my children this is what epic is.
Yeah, right.
I mean, yeah, complete wordsmith, but also though, Peter Jackson fucking he took all
captured it.
that and just spat it on screen, dude, and I thought he did a great job with it.
Yeah. W, you know,
Pinky's up.
Pinky's extended.
So, what are we watching next week, gentlemen?
Well, Griffin said something about Oppenheimer earlier.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm ready
I
to
want
take
to
that
watch.
on.
I want to watch it. The bomb.
You want to watch Oppenheimer?
it ain't gonna be no Doctor Strange love, but still though.
Nah,
It's gonna be 3 hours of
it's gonna be watching
acting
it's gonna
clinic.
be
Like,
yeah,
and I stab.
3 hours of dude getting his brain broke by physics.
Mashed away. Yeah, Oppenheimer, dude. It's kind of perfect. It feels like Oppenheimer is a Thanksgiving movie. You know?
Yeah.
Well, and I know we're wrapping things up, but you know, to go to my argument earlier about Guardians 3, like kind of coming and going. Sadly, the same has kind of happened with Oppenheimer.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when's the last time something came out and like stuck for weeks or months? Like Endgame?
I mean, you're right. I mean, really, since the pandemic, there hasn't been anything to really.
Well, the next Oppenheimer in the theaters is going to be Killers of Flower Moon. That's going to be the one where everybody's like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, just
Flower Man.
get on your knees. But I'm excited to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
All of those, Creator, Dumb Money. We're going to have some good weeks coming up. Killer.
W.
They're all worthy.
Yeah. We're not worthy.
But yeah, the nukes in the mail.
And the flag is raised.